I'm planning on going back to UFC.
You do?
If they'll have me, I would like to go back and fucking whoop someone's ass there.
Well, who would you want to if it was offered? Justin Gaethje, it sounds like.
I'm not fighting at 55 though, but right now I'm not fighting in there because there's nobody to fight really. It's kind of slow rolling.
I feel like UFC would.
I don't really have a name in mind right now in the UFC. That's why I'm not there right now. Otherwise,
but the name, the draw, the excitement that you'd bring to it, I feel like it's really lacking in UFC. Everybody's rushing, everybody's
I would
wrestling.
be there if there was somebody that I wanted to go fight. But
I want to see the rubber match with Conor McGregor.
With time for sure. Yeah, whenever he's back. Me and him for sure got unfinished.
If there's another fight that would sell and it would be huge, it would be that. It would be Diaz 3.
Oh yeah,
that could be, especially if Diaz gets past Poirier.
Yes.
Even if he doesn't, I mean, just that fight alone. I mean, there's the history between those two guys. I mean, that would be,
and it's so appealing stylistically as well. The fight, you know, like I'm a grappler at heart. I love grappling, but I also understand that a jiu-jitsu tournament will put people to sleep. You know, even if you're into jiu-jitsu, it's hard to watch a jiu-jitsu tournament.
Yes,
but anybody can see a punch hitting someone in the head and them falling down. That's that's exciting. And him and Diaz is such a great personality matchup. It's such a great skill clash. You know, if I was to design somebody that's going to bring the best out of corner, you'd want someone that, you know, can hit back and take a big shot and put up at the trash. It's a beautiful fight. I would love to see that rematch.
Yeah, the thing about Diaz when they first fought was that he didn't give a fuck about trash talk. It didn't bother.
Scientists are now showing concrete evidence that social media is actually reshaping the brain. This isn't just a theory. Researchers have measured dopamine receptors, the brain structures responsible for pleasure and reward, and found undeniable links between these changes and the amount of time people spend scrolling through their feeds. This is hard neuroscience, demonstrating real, measurable effects on how our brains process satisfaction and reward.
Being talked to headline the White House card. I don't buy it. I can't buy it. Why are we would be turning to Conor McGregor? And the answer is also out there because he is the sport's biggest star. That is true. So is that what you need? If you've got the open checkbook and you've got the magic wand, without saying names, do you say, I'm going to put as my main event the sport's biggest star? Is that your answer? Doesn't matter who he's fighting. What if it's a championship match? If you have an open checkbook and you have a magic wand and you don't use any names, but you're going to put the championship on, would you say heavyweight? Would you say women's 135? Would you say wherever Kazmat Chimaev's at? Like, how is it that you would answer that question? And then what if you're really going to go for a big fight? What if you really follow this for a long time? You're going to do what we used to call a super fight, but now we call it title versus title.
Nate Diaz was remarkably straightforward on this issue, showing zero hesitation or beating around the bush when the White House scenario came up during discussions about potential opponents. Among all the names mentioned, Conor McGregor was clearly the only fighter who fully captured Diaz's attention in those final considerations.
You want Conor McGregor?
Yeah, but the whole thing's on WWE, so
right.
Like, at least that's happening and getting something to talk about, something to watch, and I'm looking forward to that fight actually.
Now fans want it.
Devontae and Paul should be good, and then because what else are you looking forward to? Hurry up.
Nothing.
Hurry up. What else?
If it's not you, McGregor, Ryan, there's nobody.
No, it's good. It's good.
Now fans want you versus McGregor 3. Do you want that fight?
Yeah, for sure.
White House?
Yeah, what's that?
No fancy pitches, no lengthy debates. The reality is simple and undeniable. Unless it's Conor McGregor, nothing else really matters to Diaz. His essentially said count me in. The long-anticipated third chapter of this legendary rivalry is no longer just a distant dream. It's quietly building, waiting for the perfect, inevitable moment. There's no need for formal approvals or drawn-out negotiations. Everyone already understands exactly why this matchup has to happen.
Cool. Diaz said he would love to be the opponent. Are you interested in that trilogy?
That fight's a year away. Landscape will change so much by next 4th of July. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows who's going to be on the card? What the main event will be, or who will hold all the titles? Everything could be completely different.
It's not completely off the table, but Dana White stepped in and firmly cooled down any immediate talk of a trilogy. He stressed that timing is everything in this fast-moving sport, and in MMA, a single year can change everything. That's especially true now. McGregor has only hinted at a return, while Diaz has expressed clear interest, yet no concrete plans exist. White reminded everyone that any sense of certainty right now is almost meaningless, as match schedules, champions, and UFC priorities can shift rapidly. By the time next July 4th rolls around, the whole landscape could look completely different. So, while a third McGregor-Diaz fight isn't dead, it's far from ready for official approval or announcement.
And if Conor McGregor does actually make it back, I think that's the fight to make all day long. The one-on-one, there were some of the biggest fights in UFC history. Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor at the White House will be absolutely insane. It probably will have Tom Aspinall versus John Jones in the main event. It probably will have Conor McGregor versus someone, Michael Chandler or Nate Diaz, in the co-main event. So that just kind of sets the tone for how big that card would be. What do you think? Do you think Conor McGregor will actually make it back? Of course, he hasn't fought since 2021, right? It's going to be 5 years since he last fought. I, for one, fair play to the guy. Fair play, man. Respect. He doesn't need to do this. He doesn't need to come back. He's got lots of other avenues and ways to make money, but fighting is something that never leaves you, okay? It's a part of who you are. It's in your DNA. It's part of your soul. And he wants to come back and he wants to get his hands raised in victory. Of course,
in contrast to Dana White's cautious, wait-and-see approach, Michael Bisping sees the situation in absolute clarity. For him, there's no debate. If Nate Diaz returns to the octagon and Conor McGregor steps in as well, that fight must happen. No question. Bisping emphasizes that their rivalry already ranks among the greatest in UFC history, and placing this clash on a historically significant card would do more than just headline it. It would set the tone and elevate the entire event, especially alongside other major bouts. His perspective goes beyond marketing or hype. Even if McGregor doesn't need another fight to cement his legacy or earnings, the competitive drive of a true warrior makes this matchup inevitable. That intense desire, that insatiable urge for one more high-stakes moment, would make McGregor's presence on such a monumental card feel virtually guaranteed.
Gonna get the MMA world excited, then it would be John Jones versus Alex Pereira, right? Alex Pereira is one of the biggest stars. He came back in style and destroyed Magomed Ankalaev. The man's phenomenal. He's unbelievable. He's a two-weight division champion. What he's achieved in this sport is ridiculous. If he was to face John Jones and if he was to beat him, then I guess he would go on a fight for the third belt, and that'd be it. That'd be set in stone. Alex Pereira would, without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt, be the greatest mixed martial artist to ever compete. Simple as that. There's no one that's fought for 3 belts or won 3 belts. Just the thought of that alone is crazy. I mean, it took me about, 26 fights in the UFC to even get 1 title shot. So they're not easy to come by. Anyway, so there's that. Now they're talking about Conor McGregor fighting Michael Chandler. That's going to be the fight that happens. We all know about that. There's nothing new there. And the thing is, if Donald Trump wants it, if the President of the United States wants it, and as Eric says in that video,
there's someone in the welterweight division, okay? And he does it impressively, and then the McGregor fight happens. That's when I'm interested. But right now, I feel like the hardcore fans are kind of in mutual agreement that it's Masvidal or Gaethje. To us, it's kind of Masvidal or Gaethje, and for Chael Sonnen and Ariel Helwani to both say that they think Nate Diaz trilogy should be next is strange to me. Very strange to me, because I would love to see either Gaethje or Masvidal. I feel like everyone's in agreement here. We've seen that Donald Cerrone has been beaten by Conor McGregor in his...
Bisping didn't stop at analyzing individual rivalries. He expanded the conversation to the broader realm of must-see, game-changing fights that can define the sport. He singled out John Jones versus Alex Pereira as a prime example, noting that Pereira's meteoric rise, star power, and bold accomplishments across multiple divisions make the matchup feel almost unreal, like something out of a video game. A win for Pereira over Jones wouldn't just be another victory. It would cement a legacy unmatched in MMA history. At the same time, Bisping grounded his analysis in reality, acknowledging that McGregor versus Michael Chandler remains the officially anticipated path for now. Yet he also highlighted a key truth. Once politics, power dynamics, and complex relationships come into play, even the most certain plans can shift suddenly and dramatically.
Why are we be turning to Conor McGregor? And the answer is also out there, because he is the sport's biggest star. That is true. So is that what you need? If you've got the open checkbook and you've got the magic wand, without saying names, do you say, I'm going to put as my main event the sport's biggest star? Is that your answer? Doesn't matter who he's fighting. What if it's a championship match? You have an open checkbook and you have a magic wand and you don't use any names, but you're going to put the championship on. Would you say heavyweight? Would you say women's 135? Would you say wherever Kazmat Chimaev's at? Like, how is it that you would answer that question? And then what if you're really going to go for a big fight? What if you really follow this for a long time? You're going to do what we used to call a super fight, but now we call struggling with the idea that McGregor is being penciled in the middle of 2025 for a card that sits dead center in the middle of 2026 at a venue yet to be built, for tickets that are yet to be on sale. I struggle with it because we're openly saying if we're going to put Conor on there that there's no title. Unless you believe that Conor McGregor is going to demote himself, right? The biggest draw should be the main event. Your biggest star, regardless of belt, should be the main event. But in this case, if our biggest draw and our biggest star is not a champion or a contender in any weight class, we're going to acknowledge up front that our biggest show will not contain a title, which makes it a little difficult down the road to go, this show's bigger than big. In fact, we got 2 titles up. Yes, you heard me. There's 2 titles. When can you ever get that? And nothing.
Analysts emphasized that the next must-see fight depends on Nate Diaz proving himself, making a third McGregor matchup worthy of a major event. While other names like Masvidal or Glover Teixeira are mentioned, key figures, including Ariel Helwani, are leaning toward Diaz versus McGregor as the highly anticipated headline bout.
He's not. I don't even think he's that good. I'll go get his record if you want me to. But he has convinced people he is good at fighting somehow, some way.
He's pretty good.
I'm going to go get his damn record, Daniel. It's not.
But he won the Ultimate Fighter. I'm saying he was good for the time that he was fighting.
No, he wasn't. He was average.
He was, yeah, okay. I'm just trying.
Okay, I'm going to go get the record. I'm going to go get the record. They're going to yell at me. I know this. Okay, let's see. Well, his record is 21-13.
Oh my God. Really?
Yes, that's not that great.
Okay, I take it back. I'm taking it back.
And he was and going into the UFC, he was, I think it was 5-1. So within the UFC, he was 16-12.
That's not good.
That's not very good.
That's not good. There's really no way to twist that into good.
Yeah. So, but you know, his personality. That's another one's like, how did his personality catch on? He says funny things sometimes. He's a little bit different. I don't know. Yeah. And listen, if you post this clip.
On a different note, Sean Sman, known for his blunt honesty, cut through the hype surrounding Conor McGregor and the potential White House event, adding a dose of skepticism. He acknowledged that McGregor is undeniably the sport's biggest star, but fame alone doesn't automatically make him the ideal choice for a main event. Sman then explored the idea of constructing a dream card, detailing how he would approach it if resources were unlimited.